There we go. So over to you, Pilar.
So hello, everyone. Welcome to Friends of Friends. I'm Pili Moreno, long time around here. And please present yourselves.
So maybe I start. So my name is Jamin, completing my master's in counseling. I'm a CBT practitioner, a certified yoga practitioner. So I do also my yoga classes and theory classes on yoga.
Thank you, Jamin. Alessandra?
Okay. I'm Alessandra. I'm an English teacher and I finished my master's in CBT in December, and I also work as a therapist.
Thank you. Bel?
Hello, I'm Isabel Moctezuma Bel. I'm a psychologist. I'm an art therapist also, and sometimes, from time to time, an English teacher also.
Thank you. Prithviraj, did I get it right? Yay.
Prithvi, are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there. Just a sec. Yeah. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. That's me. So new to this group, I'm Prithviraj. I work in advertising and marketing. Basically advertising. People confuse between advertising and marketing. I have a deep interest in consumer psychology, and I do research in consumer psychology plus creative campaigns many a time. Yeah, some of the big campaigns in India was done by me. So that's a separate thing. And I'm based in India, Bangalore. And I am currently again completing my master's because of my interest in psychology. Thank you. That's me.
Well, welcome everyone. Jamin, do you want to say something?
All yours.
No?
All yours today.
All mine. Okay. So today we're
yours,
going to
Pili.
be talking about self-control. And I prepared a few slides so we can go all around it and work a little bit. There we go, with the self-control. And I chose the tree as the motive of the back of the slides because I really think that we are like a tree, that it's a layer upon a layer upon a layer, and each layer makes the previous one stronger. And that's a very good metaphor of what self-control is. So that's why I decided on those slides. Okay, whenever you want to make a comment, please be free to interrupt. I don't mind, because I need to make small the square with the faces of the participants so I can have a clearer view of my slides. So maybe you raise your hand and I don't see you, so please interrupt me. I don't want to be rude. Okay, so self-control is the power over oneself to determine a specific behavior. And the behavior, obviously, it can be of our mind, our body, our soul, and how it works. I'll get to that in a second. That's why it means thoughts, actions, and emotions. So self-control is an ability, and that is wonderful, because if it's an ability, it means we can build on it until it becomes automatic. It's like people who say, oh, I can't control myself with this person. This person is horrible. How am I not going to snap back at this person? You can practice. It's an ability against a person, or regarding maybe I can't control myself around this food, or I see the work and I can't control my anxiety or my whatever it is we are having a difficulty with. So we can build up around it until it becomes something automatic. And that is very important, because if we look to our past, we see that maybe when we were babies, we couldn't control our sphincters and we needed a diaper. But we developed a control, and then we got past that and we were able, and we had freedom to do a number of other things. And part of the self-control is that it, more than requiring discipline, it requires mindfulness so we can achieve more freedom. Comments up to now? Nope. Okay.
So I don't want to go ahead of what you are saying, but just to set the ground right, especially the last sentence that you mentioned, right? That can you repeat the last sentence that you mentioned? You said it's not this, but it's approaching it with mindfulness.
Yes, self-control has a lot to do with mindfulness. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit further because we need to develop an awareness of what is happening so we can assess ourselves and start developing self-control in a specific situation that we may find difficult. And if we're mindful, we can identify our thoughts, our feelings and action. We can do a link of what's going on. We can think and reflect upon it. So we have a solution for it, or we have an alternative, or whatever it is that the moment requires, because the context and the circumstances sometimes can be bigger than our spirit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess we all know that. So once we have this mindfulness and we know what we are aiming, that is going to provide more freedom, because we're not going to be the slave of the person or the circumstance or the object or whatever comes into the way.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so in order to understand how to work with the self-control, we have to think about the layers of the self that have to do with the perceptions of us by others and oneself, the perceptions of the world and our relationships with it, and our roles as human beings. So our perceptions of us by others and oneself. Sometimes there are parts of us that we perceive clearly, our abilities, our disabilities, and other things. And sometimes the way other people perceive us and they say what they think of us affects the way we react and have a relationship with ourselves, both if negative or positive. In the case of negative, like, you are always late, you don't know how to do this, all of those things, they can undermine our self-esteem and make us weak and think that we have no control or no ability to get above the situation. Likewise, in the positive manner, that sometimes somebody says, oh, it was so cute, it was so intelligent, it was so nice, you did so lovely, I didn't know you had it within you, this is very good. All of those little details can also affect the way we perceive ourselves in the other side of the spectrum. Our perceptions of the world and our relationship with it are also very important elements of the layers of the self, because many of our perceptions come from the outside. For example, when we're little kids, that our parents tell us, don't go that way, it is dangerous, don't trust this person, all those pieces of advice that are going to create all the prejudice with which we relate with the world are going to be fundamental, as in, how am I going to insert myself in this place, in this situation, with this person, and the way the relationship is going to go. Also, our roles as a human being, because we are not one person, we are many persons. We may not react or behave the same way around our grandparents that we do with our mates in school, or as we do with our children, or people above us like bosses or anything, any authority, or how we do with people who work under our supervision, for example. And let's make very clear that perception is not a fact. It's the lenses with which I look at the situation or a relationship. Comments up to now? No, good. Okay, so among the general personal roles and responsibilities we all have, I identified 5 general areas. Obviously, we can go deeper and make it way more complex, but in general, I see 5. The family, that is the first and most immediate one we have. Our religion or our spiritual relationship with the world and our surroundings. Our academic and work, the social, and the personal. In the family, as daughter or son, how do we relate with our parents? How much respect? How do we honor? Which are our responsibilities? Which are our rights or good things that get to us for being in that relationship? As siblings, how do we relate? As grandchildren, it's also very different relationship as cousins. And also in family, there is something that has a lot of weight, and I don't find many people talking about this, that is the family honor or reputation. And most families really do have this element. What do I mean by it? For example, in my family, being honest, being a hardworking person, willing to do sacrifices for the well-being of the others, the personality of the family, just sticking to the values that have been falling down generation after generation, the honor of the family, the reputation of the family, because if one fails, the whole family is going to be pointed to. Like, this person of this family is, I don't know, a thief. So this is a family of thieves. And you didn't go 200 years of family history. So somebody one day does something stupid, and then the family is a family of thieves. To do an example, just to give an example of the family honor and reputation. And that has to do with the identity of the family and our identity within the family as well. I don't know if you have any comments on this one. Because in Mexico, this happens a lot. And I don't know if on your side of the world, Jamin, the same thing goes on.
Yeah, yeah.
Or are there any comments? Belle, you wanted to comment something?
Yes, sorry, I was thinking about what you're saying right now, Billy. That yes, a family, there's a trait or something that as a family of thieves or a family of scholars. How much does family history will come to affect self-control then?
It is a stressor of self-control because, for example, I am the rebel of my family. My family is a family of commerce. Everything has to do with commerce. Everything has to do with the business. Everything has to do with that. And suddenly I am not interested in that. So it's going to become a stressor for my identity because I come from there, but I am doing something else that is not what was expected of me. So that is
Okay.
obviously going to affect my self-image and is going to affect the way my family looks at me. My mother was like, why can't you do this? Why can't you be in the family business? You can be the accountant of the family business. Mother, I am not an accountant. I have not qualified for this. This is not what I want to do. This makes me unhappy beyond belief. No, but we're a family of commerce. And we need you in the business. We need you not selling because you're very bad selling things, but we need you in the office. We need you making all the paperwork of the business and stuff. So that is obviously going to affect the way I perceive myself and put myself in a stressful position where I say, oh, I am good for nothing because I cannot fulfill the things that have to do with the family business. And I worked in the family business for more time than I wish I had. and I was impeccable with, you know, all the documents of the office and calling the clients and taking down, you know, what they wanted and stuff. But at the same time, my mother was like, you know, stop doing that. Your brother is better at this part, or your other brother is better at this other thing. Or if your father were here, what would your father think of the way you do things? You know, all of those things. When I want to do things, I have to exert all my self-control, not to snap back at my mother and not to snap back at anyone, and just be quiet and keeping myself receiving all the rocks while trying to do the best work possible. So even though it has to do with my decision of being good at what I am asked to do, it also has to do with keeping my emotions aside, keeping my thoughts aside, trying to understand where I am, when I'm there, what are my responsibilities, what is expected from me. And something that helped me was, this is a temporal situation. This is a temporal situation. I'm going to get out of here someday. You know, this is temporary. This is temporary. I can do it. I can pull it through. And so self-control in that way, that was the way I tried to survive my family situation, because God knows it wasn't easy.
Okay, I see. Thank you very much. I see how you're explaining this.
Any other perspective on this one? Anyone wants to share?
Yeah, I mean, from my side, I like what you. I could relate to what you said when it comes to family and things doing, but for me, it started maybe early in my childhood as a small stressor, but I was an early rebel, which means I didn't get affected by it soon, right? So, for example, our family was well known where I was staying. My elder sister, I went to the same school where she went, and from day one in the school, you know, it was always with comparison, right? Oh, your sister is such a good girl. Why are you so naughty? Her handwriting are so good, we can't read what you are writing. She scores so good in everything, your grades are not great, right? And for me, I had to make my own image very soon, right? And the stressor pushed me to the to an other path very quickly, that I non-identified that, okay, this is not me, or maybe I could have been those things, but I non-identified very quickly. This is not me, and I'm going to do something else to establish myself, right? But I understand the stressor. The only thing I wanted to say was that it's not always the pull part that takes you to the honor and reputation. It could be an early push into something that completely different that you are, right? So that is where I don't know, in the context of self-control, maybe I lost that self-control pretty early, and I said, okay, I'm not going to fall in for that, right? But yeah, something relatable, but a little tangent, that little other side of the spectrum.
Yes, the expectations are a lot of weight. I'm going to pass to number 2, the religious or spiritual path of people, the relationship with the God or gods. What does the God expect from me? Because gods usually expect a lot of self-control on our parts in how to behave and how to be with the others and all of that. The relationship with the hierarchy. And in this case, I don't know, in the various religions, is there a priest or a rabbi or somebody above of a religious structure that is going to provide this link between the person and the deity and how it works? And also the relationship with the religious community, the people who share your religion, the practices that you have at the temple, or the practices outside the temple that have to do with popular traditions. Like maybe this time of the year, we are going to celebrate or commemorate whatever situation of our faith. So we have to fulfill a number of roles, and we have to keep the commandments of our God or the principles of our religion, and we have to stick to that. And in order to stick to that, there is going to be a specific self-control not to fall from the grace of the deity that we are linked to. Comments on the religious part?
I mean, it may take away the entire time if we continue, but in context of self-control, you know, it's a very risky topic. But from my perspective, it's always two things when it comes to religion or spirituality, right? For me, it is always, which God are we talking about? The God that we made, or the God that made us, right? And in today's definition of the God, I really doubt if that God is that God is, I think, made by us. You know, humans created that entity, right? The definition of what it is. And that comes to the second point, is always the question of in controlling myself, am I getting controlled by the things which I don't know and only believe? And when I say only believe, it offends many people, but is it only a belief or is it known? You know, there is no place for belief if something that you know firsthand. You don't have to believe that the sun is hot. It comes out, you feel the heat, you know. So is it belief or is it known? And from which side are you getting stressors for the topic that we are discussing today, which is the self-control, you know?
Yes, but if belief or sorry.
No, sorry, continue.
Yes, but if we believe ourselves to be linked to this deity or this religion or this spiritual path, any of those has to do with a number of rules and principles that we are going to subject ourselves to. For example, if there is a day where you fast according to your belief system, you need to control yourself. And obviously it's going to be the day of the year that you're going to be the hungriest. The day of the fast, you're going to be more hungry. But you have to exert your self-control because you have to fulfill this principle or this tradition, or I don't want to go to the temple, but if I don't go to the temple, the deity is going to become disappointed on me because I all the things this deity has done to me, because that's what I believe. That's what we're talking about, Jimin. I believe that this deity is going to be disappointed if I don't fulfill this number of commandments, or I don't put up with these traditions, or I don't present myself in a clean manner after doing a penitence or something. Penitence itself is self-control at the harshest point. Especially if you are a Catholic.
No, I
we
mean,
include
even in
physical
many
punishment sometimes.
Right? Yeah, I mean, even in our religions, we have a lot of these things. And I wanted to just put a food for thought, right? On the last word that you said, the harshest. Most of these things which are belief driven and not known, right? That itself is such ironical. It's belief. It's not known at all, right? We don't know for a fact. But when it comes to the harshness of and I hope that we cover into mindfulness a little different angle. But from this angle, when we are talking about self-control, it's a conflict, right? It's a lot of conflict in what I want to do versus what I should be doing based on my belief. And in general, what is the outcome of conflict, right? Either you go towards one side, you say, for example, fast, you do a successful fasting, or you land up breaking your fast, right? And you don't do it properly. I think conflict eventually, as a seed, is a negative thing. The outcome of it has to be negative, won't be positive, right? Either it is frustration. If not frustration, there is fear. Like the religious and the God or the deity that I'm trying to do this for, I'll get punished because of this, right? So from the conflict, there has to be a negative outcome, which is fear or frustration or sorrow. And that concept of self-control, which is such harshly driven things, is a it's essentially a conflict, right?
What do I do myself in this situation?
Yeah.
If I perceive it as painful or a punishment or whatever, it has to do a lot with the way I look at myself. I have a very pious friend who is all day long in the church, and everything has to do with the church. So whatever hardships come her way, she says, God is giving me a way to serve him.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to serve my God. I don't like it, but I don't count.
Yeah.
Because this is in the glory of the Lord.
Yeah.
And the most horrible things have happened to this woman. Yet, everything she puts on the lens of this is for the glory of the Lord. And she controls herself. And even though it may be uncomfortable or difficult, because her faith is so big and her trust in God is so big, regardless what she thinks of the situation, she looks at it as something positive, something that will make her better, something that will take her to heaven. So it's a very interesting thing, because for her, all the self-control of all the things that are required from her are positive, and are ways of her to become, I forgot the word in English. How do you say digno? Worthy?
Yes.
Worthy of the Lord.
Yes.
To become worthy. So it's expectations are also interesting there, and where you stand when you're doing these things of self-control is like the people who do a lot of exercise and they are crushed, but they said, I made 100 sit-ups today. You know, and just boasting of the self-control on the other hand, because they exceeded themselves. So it can also have I mean, the perspective is tricky always, and the perspective is also a choice. So what am I doing wrong with my life at in some moments? I don't know if you have any further comment here.
I'll park for it. Let's go through the slide. I'll comment on this a little later. Let's see what we have further.
Okay, number 3, academic and work, our relationship with the bosses, the teachers, and the superiors. And this has a lot to do with the prejudice that I was talking about before, because they tell us, no, you have to talk with the honor terms. In Spanish, you have a familiar way of directing yourself with people. It's the you too, that where you see the other person as your equal. And you have usted when you are making like a reverence to the person, and you it's a way of talking with more respect, like acknowledging that the person is an elder, or the person has more knowledge, or is a superior somehow. So this relationship with the teachers and superiors, when maybe they are horrible people, but you cannot judge the teacher or the elder or your chief, or what, you cannot judge them. You cannot feel bad about them, because they are doing you the favor of making you better, of teaching you, of having you as a part of the working force, whatever. So this relationship is also having us to say, I'm going to breathe in, I'm not going to snap, I'm going to use the honorary way of talking to this person and leave it there. The other part of self-control has to do with our relationship and ability with the knowledge that we have of our area. If we have really learned, or we haven't, or we're going to go through a test or have to deliver something. So I need to sit down and get things done and follow the steps and all of that. And finally, the relationship with peers, that sometimes we have a snake around us that is making our life hard, or is presenting our work as if this person had done it, or all of those things. So where do I come in and intervene? And when do I sit down and shut up and just accept it and deal with it and swallow the bitter end of the story? So that also, it's another place or space where we exert our self-control. Comments on number 3?
I mean, for me, the number 3 is the most powerful mirror in to do with uh, the awareness part, which then eventually goes towards the choices of self-control, right? I mean, we get to know ourselves the best in relationship to others. Our truest self, if we want to understand how we are, we should look at how we are in relationship with others, right? Especially the hard ones. So yeah.
There is a phrase, I saw it in some movie, I can't remember which movie, and they said, "Thy enemy is your best teacher." I guess it was like a Jackie Chan movie or something of the sort, that your enemy is your teacher, because the enemy shows exactly where you sell out. You know, what is uncomfortable? Why do I hate this person? Why does this person treat me the way that they do? And all of those things. Oh, indeed. Indeed. Going to the social, number 4, our relationship with the neighbors, the friends, the community, our job, and all the things around our job. Because here in Mexico, usually you work in one place, and some days you have your food, and some other days you go to the restaurants around the place where you go, or if you buy the newspaper, the person of the newspaper, if you have to deal with whoever crosses your path on your way to your job or to the temple or wherever you're going, those social relationships are also going to count, especially with people that don't share your same way of doing things. For example, with the neighbors, maybe you have a very loud neighbor that likes to party or turns on the television very early in the morning, very late at night with a very high volume. Maybe your friends or your fake friends that you want to have because you want to enter a club or go higher in society or whatever the fantasy is. That's also, how do you control yourself? How do you present yourself? You are always on edge, not like you do with your regular friends. For example, here, both Alessandra and Belle are my friends forever. They have been my friends for many years. And I mean, I can have a video with them with just waking up with my hair like this, and it's fine. I don't have to present a face to them. But if I want to enter a new circle, maybe my children entered a school and I want to be friends with the parents of the children, because I want to know who my child is being friends with, and if I have to be careful because they have a different perspective of life or religion or economical status or whatever it is. All of those things are also going to have me put a leash on my personality and exert a different kind of self-control, as in, oh, I am not going to tell them that I like heavy metal and war films, because what are these people going to think about me? Later on, if it's okay, I can share those intimate details that may be uncomfortable for some people. So that other aspect of the self-control, it's very interesting how I work with it in order to insert myself in a world full of different families and worlds. Comments? Nope. Okay.
I was thinking,
Yes.
I was thinking from what from Jemin said about how you see most self-control in the academic and the work area. Here I will have to disagree. And I think that where you have to start and where your self-control has to be seen more is in your social life. Because that's where we most the time are, sorry for the whining next to me. It's Toto
Fanta
that
is
wants
singing.
Toto is showing how not to be able to keep self-control when he's not being
Toto
the
has an
center of
opinion.
attention. Yes, Toto has an opinion that he wants to be part of the conversation as always. Say hello, Toto. Sorry, I think that it's with your everyday work, not work, sorry, with your everyday relationships in the social world where self-control has to be exercised the most. Because when you go to work, when you are in school, you know there are certain rules that you have to abide to in a way. And when you're with friends, as you said, you can get loose with your self-control, or that's where you have to put it the most at work. So I think it's in a social place is that where we have to work the most on self-control. I don't know if I'm making myself clear or I'm just making a big blabber.
Oh, definitely. Yes, a lot. A lot. Any further comments? Nope. Okay, so regarding the personal, how you control your mind, how you control your body, and how you control your soul. In the part of the mind is sometimes when we have a number of thoughts that are undermining us or that are tricky or that we don't really know how to feel them or how to work ourselves around them, that sometimes we have to say, stop thinking stupid things. This is not going to happen. Our fantasy projects itself. It holds hands with emotion, and suddenly we are in a whirlwind where we don't know what to do, and suddenly we catastrophize, or on the other hand, we are so optimistic about something that we end up married to Henry Cavill. The things are completely out of reality there, and we need to take a hold of our mind and really have a lot of sense and a lot of awareness as in what is going on with us, and when we need to stop a thought, just stop it. Like, okay, why do I have this thought? What we were doing a number of sessions back. Okay, why do I have this thought? Because I am afraid. And why am I afraid? Because these things can happen to me. And why would those things happen to you? Because A, B, C, D. And how can you prevent A, B, C, D? Oh, maybe I can have this other choice, or I can do something else, but I need to control my thoughts. I need to identify that something is hurting me or harming me, or something is out of control in myself. So I say, okay, I identify the situation. Now I can work with it. I can stop my thought. I can redirect my energy and my focus on different elements, and from there I can start doing something with myself. In the part of the body, am I sleeping okay? Am I eating okay? Am I exercising enough? Am I aware of my posture? That is something else, that sometimes we're just slouching, or we are sitting in the worst possible place, and our back and our vertebrae are like a pretzel, you know, we're all slimy, and we say, no, 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 don't crouch. Stand tall, stop biting your nails, stop the patting of the food or whatever it is we're doing. So stay put, control your body, control yourself. Are you having a nervous response? Are you having a condition because of something you are not doing right? Maybe you are not sleeping, or maybe you're over stressing, or maybe you're over exercising because you want to compensate something, or you are determined that you need to have a specific body shape by a date, or that it's irrealistic, because if it's realistic, you'll grow to it. But if it's not, and then you say, oh, I want to be with a lot of muscles by the end of the month. Hey, it's the 18th of the month. There's no way you can achieve that in 12 days. It's impossible. So sometimes the things that we do with our body have really no self-control, and there are things that we have to be aware of that we can do for our well-being, our peace of mind, our happiness, and all of those. And finally, the soul and the emotions. That is something that many times we leave this aspect to following a number of principles or beliefs or religious commandments or whatever, thinking that is okay. But my soul is my relationship with my identity, with my emotions. Am I feeling guilty? Why am I feeling guilty? Am I feeling unworthy? Am I too proud? Or am I out of reality, or this emotion, and I suffer in the world, and I keep suffering in the world, and then I can suffer a little bit more, but now that I'm over the edge, I know I can suffer even more and make my life even a harder hell, and go all that way with the way I feel. And if I don't speak to myself with compassion, with empathy, with tolerance, and empathy towards oneself sounds tricky, but it really is. I mean, how am I perceiving myself in this moment? And how do I want to feel? What is my soul needing of nourishment? Do I need recognition? Do I only need a hug? Do I just need to steam out, just laugh a lot, or do something that is going to allow this thing that I don't know what it is? And if I don't know, I can't control it and I can't identify it. Maybe I need to be a little bit lighter in my being, in my soul, so I can be successful at controlling this aspect, like self-pity, that sometimes even the things that have nothing to do with my responsibility towards myself are going to affect me. For example, I live near an area where they take the dogs to run. So if I am in this self-pity thing, I say, yes, of course, all the dogs in the world are going to bark when I talk, and the airplanes are going to pass, and the buses are going to be honking, and the cars too, and people are going to argue in the street just because I am here, and I want to expose myself as somebody knowledgeable and savvy, and these people are sabotaging me. The world is against me, and I am in a lot of distress. And okay, your mind and your soul are going crazy. That is their business. It is outside. What can I do to put myself together and to really work around me and my soul and my needs? Am I too heavy? Is the sorrow of the past still haunting me somehow? Am I stopping myself of becoming a bigger, better person because of some shadow that I have been dragging, of a self-perception, a fear I may have that is holding me back? So all of these things have to do with the soul. Comments on this one? Good. Okay. Another aspect of self-control has to do with the hardships in life. And there are hardships that present themselves as challenges. Some of them are new, some of them are familiar. Some hardships we choose because of, for example, if I want to start a regime that has to do with diet, that has to do with exercise, and I'm not used to it, it's going to be a hardship. But maybe I choose it for my growth and my health and my well-being in general. And I've done it before, but I've been unsuccessful. So how do I control my self-perception if I tried this before and I wasn't successful? Therefore, am I going to fail? Is my future going to be determined by the familiar, or will I present myself in a new perspective towards this challenge or this decision that I'm working with? And that has to do with experiences as well. With the areas of growth that I choose to work on, because maybe there are many places where we can grow and become better, but sometimes I don't think I'm in the moment to put up with that responsibility right now. I don't think I want to do that right now. It's a bad time for me, and it's okay if I decide that out of some knowledge, not because I'm afraid and my feelings are I'm going to fail and these things are going to be wrong for me. So I really need to be sure on my reasons why I am going to step forward or step back towards particular hardships in life. Maybe the hardship is to say the truth about something to someone I love, and this may hurt the feelings of the person. So how is that related to self-control? Okay, am I going to say it yes or no? Am I going to present it in a loving manner, or I'm just going to blur it out like, you smell like cheese, or whatever the phrase is? I mean, I made something funny, but it can hurt the person to say that thing, or maybe something of more seriousness. And also be aware of the timeline of my experiences and the way I can modify my response. So maybe I failed in a project I had or something I wanted to do in the past. Okay, I failed. Why did I fail? Because I was doing it to please somebody else, because I didn't have the preparation or the knowledge I needed to be successful at it, because I had too much on my plate and couldn't do all the things at the same time, because, and we can fill in the reasons why in that moment back in time we were unsuccessful. So how can I modify my response? I am not today the person I was 1 year ago, 10 years ago, whatever time before. What can I do now? How can I modify my response? Was I asking for too much? Was I asking for something impossible? Was I doing it unwillingly? How many things have we done unwillingly because somebody tells us that, oh, this person you love is sad, so you have to help this person feel better, especially the relationship with the parents, all the things we unwillingly do for our parents because they are sick or they are tired, or maybe out of our love, we, without anybody asking us, we do things that we shouldn't be doing because they are not our responsibility, because we love the person and we want the world to be better, and we just like cut off the relationship with our self-control. This thing you're doing for the other person is hurting you. This thing, it's not your responsibility, or it's not your responsibility by yourself. Look for assistance, look for professional help, look for advice, look for an easier way to cope with this situation. But sometimes we just give too much and we don't know how to deal with the hardships of life because we see other people doing it in such an easy way. Why can't we? And then we start the self-attack that we don't know, that we're stupid, that we're not worthy, blah, 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 blah. And it goes to the back. So self-control. How do I deal with this hardship? Can I do it by myself? Yes, no, maybe. And proceed with the best possible solution. Comments on this one? Nope. So how does self-control work? And all the rusty nails that we're going to take out of our souls come here. I have a very symbolic presentation today. Okay, so first I need to identify what it is and what behavior I want to be having. So what is going on? What do I want to do? And how is it done? So I need to be clear exactly what do I need to exert my self-control in this moment, right here, right now, not the rest of my circumstances, not all the people I know. No, 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 no. Right here, what's making me uncomfortable? What do I need to have urgent action on? And be clear. Do I need to stop a behavior? Do I need to speak up? Do I need to shut up? Do I need to get things done? Do I need to stop fooling myself with a fantasy and go to realistic facts and actions? So be clear, be concrete, exactly what it is that I need to be working on. I made my situation clear, but concrete action. Do I need to start doing something, stop doing something? And once I'm clear and concrete, then I need to be consistent, because if it is an ability that I need to develop, it has to be consistent. So it can become automatic. It has to be consistent. If I want to I don't know, the doctor says you have to drink more water, just to say something simple that applies to anybody. Okay, so today I'm going to drink a gallon and tomorrow I'm not. No, wait, what did the doctor say? You need 8 glasses of water. Okay, every day. So maybe in the morning I am going to have 2 for during the day and 2 with dinner at night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, every day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year, until it becomes automatic. And I wake up and I say, oh, I need my water. Or I'm going to sleep and I'm missing my water, or whatever it is. It has to become part of my regular activity. In the case of the water, it's pretty easy to rely. But if I know that I need to work with this person that I hate with every atom of my being and every interatomic space too, this person is unpleasant. I am not going to change this person, but I am not going to allow this person to be abusive to me, to do these things to me, to make me lose my peace with the nasty comments or the attitude or whatever this person does. So the control is going to be on me, because that person is that person's business. So my self-control. So every day the person says something nasty, may you be blessed. may you be blessed, or whatever circumstance it's going there to detach me and help me keep my self-control and everything else. Because we know there are some people who hate us or envy us for reasons we will never understand, but they are there, and suddenly, and they're pretty sneaky. That's why I call them snakes, because they are silent, and they just start coming, and then they roll you, and then they suffocate you, and they bite you, and you're dying with venom, and they look so innocent, just sliding away to their tree to roll on their tree or on another victim. So it's quite a thing. And the best way is to determine steps to get there. There was a phrase I saw in my boss's office that said, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. And that's a very good thing. If you determine what you need your self-control with, okay, so this is a situation. What do I need to do? I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm going to do the things that I have to do. If I have to turn in this project or paper or whatever by this date, how much do I need to do each day in order to be successful? And the self-vigilance, because until it is an automatic thing in ourselves, we have to keep the vigilance. If things start falling apart little by little, and we notice that something's going wrong, again, we need to identify, we need to determine the steps, and we cannot do this if we are not in a constant self-vigilance. Now, this self-vigilance doesn't have to be exhaustive. We just have to be in contact with our emotions. If our emotions are flowing, it's okay. If our emotions start turning kind of blurry, okay, then I need to analyze and see what the hell is going on there so I can do something about it. Comments on this one? Nope. Okay, so how do I get there? The point of the self-control. Okay, what do I want to do? Professionally, personally, family. What do I want to do with those areas? Who do I want to be? Where do I need success in my life to feel fulfilled, or that I feel that I don't have self-control in this area? What happens with my inner peace? What happens with my personality? Can I find a way of being composed when I do things? Do I want that as something I want for myself and my happiness and the stability of the people around me? What do I want to feel? Do I need security? Do I need happiness? Do I need fulfillment? Where do I want to see myself and when? My goals, my plans for the future. Maybe my life is quite okay, but I am just in the flow, and I'm doing the same, and every day is the same day, every day is the same day, and I don't have a plan for my future. And suddenly I look back and I say, oh my God, I'm not 27 years anymore. I'm 29 now. I am older than that. And what happened with these years, and where am I going? Why am I stuck in my career or stuck in my personal development? I thought that by now I would be elsewhere, or I had a dream and I let it just wipe off the map because I couldn't do it. Is it still my dream, or do I have another dream? Where am I going? And what is going to give me self-satisfaction in my mind, in my body, and in my soul? I need to remember that I have like these three aspects of myself that I need to be aware of. And also, how do I want to be perceived in my family, with my partner, in my work or school, in my society? Do I want to be perceived as someone everybody can step on? She always says yes. Just throw it to her. But I cannot see her because she's up to here with work. Throw it to her. She's going to get it done. She's going to get it done. So they have no respect of our time or our well-being or whatever, and they just throw things at us in the family, with our partner, in our work, and in our society, because we put up with all those things and we don't have the self-control of saying, not today. Yeah, but not today. What, today I have things to do. What do you have to do? And obviously we're polite and we don't go saying, it's not your business. So we have to become creative and say, oh, I have an appointment. And sometimes the Viper is going to come back and what appointment is it? And they're going to start drilling us to put us in a trip of guilt and shame or whatever it is to control us. And we say, I'd rather not say, because here in Mexico, we have a belief that if we talk about something that we want to happen, it's not going to happen. Se ceba. That's the no, I can tell you because it can go the other way. Oh, I'll tell you once it's done. Let me see how it goes and I'll get to you later. But stopping people and saying, no, I don't want another plate of whatever delicious food you made. I'm satisfied now. I don't need any more food. I can't do that in that time. I have responsibilities with my children, or I have a personal appointment, or I'm going to do something else, or I'll tell you tomorrow. Not just now. And keep yourself a person of mystery when you put your boundaries, because we don't need really to give explanations. And sometimes we don't have control and we give explanations of things that are nobody else's business. So how do I want to be perceived? Do I want to be perceived as someone successful, of someone trustworthy, of whatever it is I want? Where am I going to set a line? Maybe I do a lot for my family, or I do everything in the house because my partner becomes so tired with the things that they do. Okay. But I am tired too. It's not just the other person. So what are you going? Please, today you do the dishes. I'm exhausted. And telling our needs is also something that has to do with self-control. I have to control myself, not to take in everything and say, okay, this is my need, this is my boundary, this is what I'm going to go like, no. And don't just accept whatever everybody else is saying, because it gets us where we don't want to be. Comments up to here? We're almost done with the slides. We're almost done. Okay, so yes, tell me.
Yeah, if you go to the previous slide, and I'll contest this in the end when we discuss, because I believe that the first thing, right, what do I want to do? Now, if I know what I want to do, then there is no choice. And if there is no choice, there is no conflict. And if there is no conflict, there is no need of self-control at all, right? I mean, we don't say if there are two jars, you know, two plates, one with fire and other with warm water, right? And we say, you know, put a hand in one of it. Is it really a self-control that I don't want to put my hand into the fire? You know, that there is no choice. I would put it into the warm water, right? So if there is a complete clarity of what do I want, and I like the entire how do I get there. If I know about all of these things, then I would contest that there is no choice. There is one outcome. And if that's one outcome, then there is no need for per se control, because control is conflict. I want to do something, but I shouldn't. You know, I want to give it back to a person and be rude to that person, but I won't. Right? But if there is no choice, because I know that it harms me, right? And then
Mhm.
I know for my own sake, I have to continue and not give it back and not fall into the trap. Then there is no choice, and then there is no need for self-control. You know, you just there is no conflict.
Yes, that is why it has this sequence when in the first one we say, okay, once we're clear and concrete that we can become consistent, then I jump here
Yes,
to do exactly what you're saying. Now I already made my choice.
yes,
So my self-control is based on my choice of all these other things.
yeah,
The thing is
yeah,
that we humans are tricky and go back to places where we shouldn't go back.
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. I mean, it's just semantical,
That's
right?
why,
The definition of the word
uh-huh.
self-control, I'm a little against that because it feels a conflicted thing. But if you follow the map in the last two slides that you mentioned, then we know we do one thing, right? And that's, I mean, we can term it as self-control, ABC, blah blah blah, doesn't matter, right? But it for me doesn't feel anymore a force controlling. You know, it's a decision. I think you use that word as well. It's a decision. I don't have a
Mhm.
choice A and choice B. I decided and I follow what I decided because of all the reasons before.
And once with that choice, that's why I have this thing of the difficulties, because on one hand, I have the role of my experience. The perception of past experiences is going to determine my focus. Oh, I always fail here, or today I know better. I'm not going to fail there. The relationship with other people's and their opinions, with the weight I give to their comments. For example, when I'm going to have a self-control, I'm going to change an attitude I had. Maybe now I'm going to say no more. Maybe now I'm going to do things in a different way. So sometimes my experience with and I liked you so much better when you did this other thing, or the system is okay. Why did you change it? All of those things that have to do with my experience are part of the challenge of making these choices. And also sometimes with my visualization of how successful may I be dealing with circumstances and context are going to help me put up with that difficulty. I need to visualize, okay, I know this person is going to come and say these things. I know my mother is going to question the way I cook this food. Because it's the daily things that spin us crazy, not the extravagant elements on top. So I need to visualize, I need to prepare as part of my plan. According to my experience, how can I prevent uh, other elements to sabotage my ideas or my decisions, and then the day-to-day challenges, because some days everything flows, but sometimes everything floods. It rains on top of you, and the water keeps coming up, and sometimes circumstances take us to a memory, an emotional memory specifically, because when you say, I remember this thing, it's not the same like, I feel like the day where I failed at this thing, or I feel like when this person left me. So distinguish between my past behavior and my actions and what I can do today. Because sometimes a smell, the smell of the perfume of the person who did this thing to you comes, and you're a powerless child in a second. So those things, you can visualize whatever you want, but you're not prepared for somebody wearing the perfume a person wore. You can't you can't really do something about that. You cannot change the person is not smelling like this, is smelling like this other S. You cannot do that. The body, it goes faster than our brain sometimes. So I need to unify what I think, what I feel, what I say, and what I do to avoid the inner conflict. Okay, something happened out of my control. Okay, I think this, I feel I can get it done. I'm going to say that I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to get it done. Just unify. If we can do this thing of unifying these 4 aspects, that is the ultimate self-control. Thinking, feeling, saying, and doing, that is the ultimate self-control, I think. And then establish a management framework and plans to exercise in order to determine my options. Because really learning to put ourselves a leash and say, no, 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 stop it. You have already gone through this. So stop and go to the next one, is something else, and stick to the plan. Stick to the plan, to the new desired self or the new desired attitude, ability, or whatever it is, so you can get it done. So how do I control myself? Quickly, the abstract. Identify clearly, what do I fear or want to avoid, why, what do I want to become, feel, or do, which plan is on my best interest and serves me, professional assistance if needed, because sometimes we don't know how to get something done. Practice the desired responses to situations or behaviors for my success. Visualize situations, responding instead of reacting to circumstances. Basically that's the mindfulness part. And remember, I have the choice, but it takes time to shape my reactions. I have power exclusively over myself. Nothing and no one has power over me unless I give them the power. And that it is a constant exercise of perfecting myself in whatever aspect I need to be working with. Comments here? Thank you. That's it on my side. I don't know if you want to comment. If you want me to move to any particular slide, I can do so, or just cut the slides off.
No, a slide before this, and just to reiterate, I mean, I love that, and I try to practice it. I'm far from it. Is unify what I think, feel, say, and do. And I don't know, for some reason I had, and thank you for bringing this up. And the reason I say is I have been talking about this lately with some of the other friends of friends kind of group, and I was always talking about think, say, and do. And I realized that I think there are a lot of times I think, say, and do unified, but the outcome was still a problematic outcome. And I think the aspect that I missed was feeling, right? So in office, for example, I was thinking the right thing to do. It was not conflicted. I know what I had to do. I was saying those things and I was doing those things. But somewhere there was feeling of stress somewhere, right? And that was getting ignored. And I think that's why I thank you for bringing this up. And I loved it. And again, not challenging too much on semantics, because it's language is like that, it is limited. But for me, all of this is more of acting out of awareness. So it's more of self-awareness rather than self-control, right? But it's, again, we don't want to go into semantic. We can call it whatever we want, but I mean, in essence, we agree. At least I agree what I'm seeing it. And for me, it was immensely powerful how we started with the small examples and then converged into a slide after this on exact steps. I mean, in the last slide also, I would always, this is the pivot, right? Unify what I think, feel, say, and do. That's the, the zenith of our awareness then. So thank you. Thanks a lot for that, Pilar.
Thank you. And the awareness and the self-control, because in Spanish, they're very different.
Yeah, it is different.
I don't know if maybe it's a language subtlety there, yeah. But awareness is, oh, there is a cat.
Yeah.
And self-control, stop yourself for chasing the cat to pet it.
Yeah.
It's like very, very different things between the awareness, where you identify, and the self-control when you decide what you're going to do with something.
Right. No, agreed. Yeah.
Anybody else wants me to go back or forth the slides or?
No, I think we are good then. I think I see Alessandra and Bell nodding. Sai, I cannot see you. Prithviraj dropped meanwhile. So okay, if no further comments, at least let me stop the recording.